All good.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see everybody again. August, and I guess we're still on Zoom here, but there are some people here that are from far and wide, which are, obviously if we did this in person, they wouldn't be able to join us. But I guess we'll hopefully go back to our person meetings sometime soon, but we'll still keep these Zoom meetings as well for to have both options for people, both from the far and wide networking. Okay, my name is Heshy Friedman, and we have a nice crowd here. Every minute or two, there's somebody else coming on. So for all the new people here, the idea, we're going to let you all introduce yourself. If there's time, we'll let all the old people introduce themselves. And we have a very exciting program today with Jeff Goldberg, a sales coach. Jeff, are you here? Jeff, were you able to join in?
Yes, sir. Here I am.
All right, excellent. So we have a very exciting program here, and hopefully we'll get there soon. And we also have another thing which we're going to talk about at the end about a new networking platform, a virtual platform that there's going to be an event taking place on Thursday. I don't see Itzi Holzer. Are you here, Itzi? I guess he'll come on soon, and Toby Goldstein. They're going to talk about the called Purple World. We're gonna get there soon. Some of you here on LinkedIn might have seen their thing, all their exciting virtual world, networking world. Anyways, okay, so let's start right here. We're gonna go through all the new people first, give them a chance to just give literally a 10 to 15-second introduction, who you are, what type of business you're looking for, and any leads or information that that you can benefit from the group. Yitzi, if I can trouble you to post the spreadsheet of all the attendees in the chat. I want to push that. Everybody can see who's attending, who they are, what they do. They can see their LinkedIn profile, their website, and get an idea of, to follow up. The main thing of networking is the follow up. So if everybody can just follow up, look at the list, and make sure your information on the list is correct. It's going to be, and Itzi's going to post it in the Zoom chat here. And we'll also make it available afterwards. We'll send out an email. So with
That's
that,
not working. Here we go. There are people who came on today who are not on the list because they didn't register. They could please put their name on now.
Yeah. Okay. It's right now in the chat there, so you can. If your name is not on there, please add it, and feel free to look at that list and make any contacts from there as well from people who attended here. So I'm going to start going through all the participants here. Let's see. Let's start with the new people first, and we'll see if we have time to go through everybody here. Let's see who we have here. Anybody new here? Aviv, you haven't been here before, right? This is your first time here?
Yes, first time.
Okay. So why don't you introduce yourself here?
Sure. My name is Aviv Barron. I'm with Direct Payment Group. We help companies get paid fast. So if you're accepting credit cards as a form of payment from your client in person, online, or over the phone, let's have a conversation. We try and put out as much value as possible and make sure that you're doing it safely and at the best rate. So give me a call.
All right. Thank you. I'm assuming you're in the spreadsheet there, right? You added your name there?
Yes, I'm on there.
Okay. David Lidauer, I don't think you've been here before. Welcome. And why don't you give yourself a quick introduction?
Thank you for having me today. No introduction, just here to help other people. Thank you.
What do you do? What's your job?
No job, sir.
Okay.
How can you want to help other people?
Yeah.
What was the question?
How can you help other people?
Yeah.
My network on LinkedIn.
Nice.
Okay. Neil Greenbaum. Neil, good to see you. I've seen you online a lot. It's really a pleasure to have you join us. Welcome.
Hey. Hi, everybody. So my name is Neil Greenbaum. I'm an attorney. I deal with transactions, particularly drafting and negotiating contracts and doing corporate and commercial real estate transactions.
Quick and easy. I like that. Okay. Ben Rosenberg, welcome. You've come to some of our LinkedIn events in the past, but this is your first time here on our virtual events. Welcome. Ben? Can you hear it? That's not Ben.
He's muted.
Ben, you're muted. Okay, we'll come back to you. Okay. I'm also going to give a chance to people who have, our last event in person was back in March. So now we're already in August. So anyone who hasn't come, who's been to the in-person events but hasn't been to the virtual events, we'll give them a chance also to introduce themselves. Mark Spitz. Mark, welcome. You're a longtime member, but this is our first time seeing you here virtually.
Well, good morning, everyone. Am I coming through clearly?
You're fine.
Excellent. Well, good morning, everyone. Again, Mark Spitz. In a nutshell, what I do is I work for a company called GRM. We are a leading provider of document management services. And in a nutshell, what we do is we help companies manage all of their information. We automate a lot of workflows. We provide greater visibility into their processes. And really what we do is we help business owners make important business decisions with our actionable analytics. So if anything sounds interesting and you're curious, definitely feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to chat with you.
Thank you. Aryeh Becher.
Hey, actually, I was here.
You were here.
I'm happy to introduce myself again.
All right, I don't remember, so go give a quick.
Cool. My name's Aryeh Becher. I work for Smart Solutions Group. You probably are familiar with through Nick.
Okay. Yes.
Davidson. We do business consulting in a super big way.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Leiby Markowitz.
Hi, my name is Leiby Markowitz. I set up people how to never forget a task again. So if you only finish like 80 or 90% of your work on a daily basis, just give me a call. I came here because I love Jeff. I learned a lot from him, and nice meeting you all.
Thank you. Have you added your name to the spreadsheet? Are you
yes,
in the
it's there.
Okay,
it's there.
Okay. Ben, are you back? Ben, can you hear us? Ben Rosenberg. Okay. There's a lot of people here. Oh, hold on. There's a lot more people coming in here. Let me add them in. Okay. Anybody here? Feel free right now. If you have not been here in the past, and this is your first time here on the virtual networking event, please introduce yourself. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Anybody here that did not get a chance to introduce himself that's not been here in the past, please go ahead and do so.
You hear me? This is Steve Schwarber.
Hi, Steve. How are you? Yeah, we hear you fine.
Okay, great. This is my company is Aquarius Partners LLC. We are a customer retention advisory firm. We focus on helping small to medium-sized companies, professional service companies, and health practices retain their customer accounts.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else did not get a chance to introduce himself in the previous, has not been here previously? Go ahead and introduce yourself, please. Okay.
Hey, Heshy, could I ask a question?
Sure. Go. Oh, Jeff. Jeff. Well, you're going to be the main presenter. Why don't you just tell us what you are and what you do, before we do the presentation.
Before I do that, Steve Schreiber, how do you help people maintain or retain their customer accounts?
So I have an expertise in what I call customer lifecycle management. So we basically work with medium-sized companies that realize, maybe they don't realize, but usually the pain point is they've had significant shrinkage in the number of accounts that they're billing out. And so they may have 500 accounts, all of a sudden they have 300 or 350. And even if sales are somewhat level or growing, they don't realize it, but they're losing accounts. And there's a variety of reasons for that. And we get into the underlying, we're sort of like the mechanic. We open up the hood, we drill into the deep parts of the organization and of their processes, their business flows, and we figure out what may be causing their accounts to leave. And there's a variety of reasons. As anyone, I don't want to dwell on the details, I'm happy to. We give a 1-hour free advisory to anyone who calls us, but we really focus on trying to help those companies to stop the shrinkage and, of course, to increase their revenue growth over time. But first and foremost, to realize the ways that they may not realize that they're losing accounts that they've had, legacy accounts.
Thank you, Steve. And thank you, David. But by the way, David, I just went on LinkedIn. I can't find your name, so I'm not sure. I'd love to know also what you do, and it's very generous of you to offer just to expose people to your LinkedIn network. But I just looked for you, I couldn't find you. So love to know what you do too. Heshy, back to you.
Okay, so we're going to hear more from Jeff soon. Now I'm going to take a poll from the audience here. Last time people wanted, everybody, even people who came before, just wanted a quick introduction as well. We have about 25 people here. So to go through everybody is going to take too much time, I think, from our main program. But I'm okay if everybody wants, even people who were in the past, to introduce yourself to the new people, just to say your name, your company, and then move on. So I'm okay with that. Do we have any objection to that if we do that?
I object if people don't get a chance to introduce themselves because I'm new here.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. So I'm just going to call everybody's name because I have the list of all the participants here. And you'll see your face, you'll see what you do. And again, you'll be in the spreadsheet there so everybody can follow up with you. And on that note, let's get started. We'll hopefully spend no more than 5 minutes on this. Jonathan Schloss, you're in the screen anyway, so why don't you just say hello?
Morning, Jonathan Schloss. I'm a lawyer, law firm of Schloss & Schloss PLLC. We handle real estate litigation, business disputes with a subspecialty of buying and selling restaurants, bars, bodegas, which is liquor licensing.
Okay, thank you.
In a nutshell.
John Aramini?
Yes, hi, my name is John Aramini, Aramini Management Consulting, been in business since 2005. Businesses typically come to us, they say, you know, we have customer erosion, we're not getting the growth we like. And I typically look at their execution, what's going on, and are they working in silos? My newest client, in fact, came to me with just that, where there's an issue between the president and the management team that works for him. And try to help. I'm kind of like a corporate shrink, working out those dynamics and then setting up a plan. I'm big on action-oriented stuff, very accelerated, very immediate, and very results-oriented. John Aramini, Aramini Management. Thank you, Heshy.
Thank you. All right. Yehuda Freilof.
So I run a company called Outsourcing to Israel. We have a very large network of Americans living in Israel. And if anyone's looking to hire remote people, full-time, part-time, if you're looking for a bookkeeper, for a virtual assistant, for a software developer, we'll help you find the best of the best would work for you remotely from Israel.
Thank you. Kenneth Lang.
Morning, everyone. Kenneth Lang here from KML Consultants. I teach LinkedIn best practices to small business owners, and I hope all of you here are taking advantage of the microphone option on your mobile to use that as an additional opportunity to connect with people. If you don't know how to use it, I'm happy to have 15-minute consultations with anyone here. Kenneth Lang, KML Consultants.
Thank you. Marty Boltax.
Hey, Marty Boltax, Ben Ephraim Endeavors. I'm a QuickBooks Pro Advisor, currently focusing on developmentally disabled individuals. However, if there's anyone in this forum that has any QuickBooks questions, don't hesitate to give me a buzz. I'd be more than happy to give you some insight.
Thank you. Nick Davidson.
Hi, good morning. Nice to see so many familiar faces. Hi, Heshy. Nick Davidson, Smart Solutions Group. We are business consultants. We help folks bring into practice a vision or an idea they might have for a new department or product line. When they have circumstances, they think they've thought of all the potential solutions and are still stuck, we come in and help you find some more.
Sterling Nyman.
Good morning, Sterling Nyman from Kohlhagen Nyman & Company. We're a CPA firm. We're servicing individuals and businesses of all types and all from startup companies to companies doing $25 million, doing tax returns and accounting. And just if anybody has not done any PPP, if you're interested, there are only a few more days left. That's running out on August 8th. Sterling Nyman, CPA.
Thank you. Who was workspace brainstorming? We'll give you a chance to introduce
That would be me, Ben C. Rosenberg. Ben Rosenberg.
Okay, we tried getting you before and had trouble.
Right. I just was trying to get back in through the workspaces. If you look, you'll see I'm getting in from a Zoom room within a CoWorks location. I invited anybody who wants to come from here to join with me, but at the same time, it looks like I'm alone at this point.
That's a big crowd you got there.
If anybody joins, I guess it's the large breakfast that I offered. But if anybody joins, I'll introduce them in the interim. But Ben Rosenberg, corporate IT. We do IT consulting. We do managed services. The more complicated, the better it is. We're powered by computer geniuses, so we eat this stuff for breakfast.
Can you tell us about your Zoom room? What the Zoom room is?
The Zoom room is a room that has. I should join you guys from my phone just to show it to you. Maybe I'll, after the. I don't want to take away from anybody else's presentation, but basically it's two large screen TVs, a mounted camera, and it's got a whole conference room that it can cover. It's got an array of microphones so that everybody can get picked up. I hope I'm clear to you guys. I think I am because I've tested this thing out before, but it looks really, really amazing. You have to see it from my point of view to really get the full scope, because I see what I guess is all 25 of you on this side on one screen, and I see Heshy on this side. But when anybody else speaks, they come onto this side as well. Yeah, let's see if I can join really, really quick. From, you want to let me in from the?
Yeah.
I'm in the waiting room.
Yeah.
This is my, and you're going to hear a little bit of feedback because of the cameras.
Bensi, where are you located? Where are you situated?
It doesn't hear. Okay, you'll tell us more about this when we're done. I think this is very interesting, this whole Zoom room concept. But we're glad to have you join for our first time virtually. Abe Pressburger, you just came up automatically, so why don't you give an introduction?
Hi everyone. It's been a little while since I last been part of RBBN. So I'm now working at Evergreen Insurance. I do mostly renewals, which is existing customers for the agency. I focus on commercial real estate, which is commercial real estate insurance, which is people are landlords or property managers and need insurance for their buildings.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see who else we have here. Kenneth, did you speak yet?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see who else did not have a chance. Alex Finkelstein.
Hello, good morning. I have a company named Telephonics. We provide business phone services, especially for small businesses and especially for home-based businesses. That's what we do.
Thank you. Chaim Jaroslowitz.
Good morning. I'm going to leave it for Ann this month. And, she gets double time, though, because we're logged in as two people.
Yeah. Good morning. I am Ann Kleinman Yaroslavich, and our company is Ad Infinitum. We provide marketing solutions. We help clients find the correct promotional product so that the impact they create in their sales cycle is increased and not just another tchotchke sitting on somebody's desk. Ad Infinitum.
Thank you. Zvi Spitz.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Zvi Spitz. My company is Veritech, and we're a managed IT services provider. We basically keep your technology services working quickly, efficiently, and letting everyone else get their job done. Thank you.
Thank you. Rafi Salem. By the way, before Rafi speaks, I just want to point out that tomorrow Rafi and I are going to have a very interesting, hopefully, LinkedIn Live regarding reputation management. I'll let Rafi do a quick speech on that. Rafi, why don't you introduce yourself?
I like the way you said, I hope that hopefully it's going to be
from
interesting.
my end. I'm saying your end, sure it is. I'm saying from my part.
So Rafi Salem, Salem Global Internet, Biz Dev Leaders, RafiSalem.com, WeddingSeason.com. I'm a serial entrepreneur for the past 20 years. I run a digital marketing agency. We specialize in SEO and reputation management. I put in the Google Sheet 2 more columns. One is a 15-second commercial and a promote this. Under the promote this is our LinkedIn Live link. So check it out, sign up, and see you all tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. Let's see. Okay, there's still 2 more people here. There could be more, but we're going to hopefully get to the main program. Toby, how are you? We're going to let you introduce yourself from a business perspective, and then you'll, at the end, after we have Jeff's presentation, you'll go ahead and talk about the purple world. Toby, can you hear us? I don't think she hears me. Okay, well, we'll come back to her.
Actually, you gotta write a little sticky note and pick it up. Toby, she's on mute. That's why.
Yeah,
she's speaking, but she's
Right now
there
I'm
she is.
talking. My sound was off. Someone likes to play with the computer. My goodness, I take no responsibility for something like that.
So why don't you just give us a quick introduction?
About what? There's so many
About
things
you,
to
not
talk
about the program. We're going to do that about the purple world. I mentioned it before, but we'll talk about that after. They'll change to it. Just say about you and your business, a quick introduction.
Got it. Okay, so my name is Toby Goldstein. I run bite-sized workshops. I go down to companies. We focus on customer service, on employee engagement, really bringing out the best from your employees, of yourself. And I focus on the soft skills. Soft skills are also known as people skills, as interpersonal skills. Think of time management, think of communication, think of collaboration. So it's all those things that will come down, we cover, we pick a topic. You know, for example, we're doing a time management series. I'm doing a time management series in a company now. We ran through time management, created procedures, and this is a very strong focus. So all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you learn how to manage your emails, you learn how to manage your time, and you make sure to get done what you really need to get done that day. So that's it in a bite-sized version of what I do.
Great, thank you. And David Kogel, Dubie Kogel. Hello?
Good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good morning. I can't get on video just yet. David Kogel, Sterling National Bank, middle market banking for businesses, sales of 5 million to 100 million or plus, and just the good old fashioned cash management systems and lending as well. David Kogel, Sterling National Bank.
Jason left, I forgot you. Go for it.
No problem. All good. Jason Leff, HR Harmonious. HR Harmonious is a company. We specialize in creating customized payroll solutions for small to mid-sized businesses that are easy and simple to use. To alleviate the stress of change, we handle the full migration so you can breathe deep and have peace of mind while we do all the heavy lifting. Jason Leff, HR Harmonious.
Thank you. Okay, I think we went through everybody. Is there anybody who did not?
Introduce myself, please.
Go. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ellie Cohen. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. My company name is Elcon Communications. Been around since 1994. Basically, what we do is we help people eliminate wasting time and frustration with their phone systems and save them up to 50%.
Thank you.
I loved your work in Syria, in Damascus, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that many, many times over my life.
If anybody, before we're about to start the main program, once again, look in the chat. There's a link to a spreadsheet. If you're not on there, please add yourself in there with all your information. And if you you can see everybody else attending and all the information in that shared spreadsheet, and you can get all the follow-up for everybody. But again, if you have not had a chance to, hold on, I'm sorry, I sent it to, let me just send it public to everybody one more time. Okay, it's in there now. Just check in the chat and copy that link and save that for future reference and make sure to add yourself in there. Okay, and now as we begin the main program, so I just want to introduce Jeff Goldberg. Jeff and I have known each other for about 6 or 7 months now, and I find him to be extremely proficient and knowledgeable in understanding sales and sales tips and ideas and strategies. And we had actually had a LinkedIn Live about 2 weeks ago, and the discussion was sales during coronavirus. Obviously it's a challenging time for sales for everybody right now, and he really had some very good insights, and it was definitely something worthwhile to share to an audience here. And then people can ask him questions, just understanding, sales tips in this interesting time. So without further ado, Jeff, I'm going to introduce you. And why don't you take it away, and we'll hopefully get some good questions from the audience. Go ahead. Let's start talking about some ideas, some of your sales tips and things that you would suggest during these times.
Thank you, Heshy. Thank you for having me today, everyone. Heshy, can you give me the ability to share my screen, please?
Absolutely. I'm going to make you a host. Hold on.
For the rest of you, this might be a great time to mute yourself if you're not already muted.
Okay, let's see here. Let me know if you see the. Let me know if you see that yet. The ability to share screen. Hold on. Let's try one more thing. Allow.
If you click the little arrow next to share screen, you should get a pop-up that allows you to allow participants
There
to
you
share.
go. I got it. Thanks. Okay.
There we go. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're on.
Great. So for those of you who don't know me and love me as much as Levy, and I love you too, pal. My name is Jeff Goldberg, and I'm a sales coach, sales trainer, sales consultant, and outsourced sales manager. I've been in sales for about 47 years. And I work with both individuals and organizations to help them do one thing and one thing only: attain measurable and sustainable sales increases. So Heshy asked me to talk a little bit today about what are some of the things we can do given the current crisis in order to bring in some income, close some business, and hopefully thrive. So the first tip I want to give you today is to not be this guy. This is the typical used car salesperson. I don't mean to insult anybody who sells used cars on the side or has sold used cars on the side or who has a relative who sells used cars. I don't mean to insult any of them, but traditionally we think of used car salespeople as scum of the earth, and we don't want the people that we're trying to sell our products or services to think of us like that. In fact, for those of you who do watch television, you might remember the show Seinfeld. I was a big fan, and there were 4 main characters, and I loved them all. However, the one I had the most room in my heart for was George. George Costanza was the perennial loser. In one episode, George figures out that if everything he does is wrong, and he always loses, that if he just does the opposite of what he thinks he should do, he'll be right. And in that episode, George gets a beautiful new girlfriend, he gets a job with the Yankees, and he moves out of his parents' house simply by doing the opposite of what he thinks he should do. And the reason I'm telling you this is because in any given sales situation, I'd like you to think, what would the typical salesperson do here? And then do the opposite. Because most people do not like the typical salesperson. Most people think of us when we're selling as liars, thieves, and scum. They think our job is to reach our hands into their pockets and take out those green pieces of paper with pictures of dead presidents on them and to put them into our own pockets. Is that our job? I guess we could argue that it is. However, my suggestion is our job is really to provide so much incredible value that people are happy to hand over their dollars to you. So one of the things that's crucial, in fact, maybe the most crucial thing I can get across to you, is that there's a relationship between prospecting and getting paid. But it's not that you prospect today and get paid tomorrow. It's you get prospecting today and you get paid somewhere way down the line. And what you're looking at on your screen right now is about how long it takes me to get paid when I'm selling my sales training services. I'm selling it to usually large corporations with 10 or more salespeople. And from the time I first called somebody to the time I get paid, it's about 4.5 months, because there are 3 meetings that usually take place over an 8-week period on average. Then we actually sign an agreement and I'm engaged to do the work. I have to write the program, put together the workbook. The company that I'm going to be doing it for has to book a room. They have to coordinate my calendar with their calendars. And sometimes they're dealing with salespeople who are local, sometimes from across the country, and sometimes from around the world. And sometimes I'm doing this in other places in the world. So there's a lot that goes into it. So from the time I first speak to somebody till the time I actually get their check in my pocket, it's about 4.5 months. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because if I don't do any prospecting today, I can't get paid 4.5 months from today. And if I don't do any prospecting tomorrow, I can't get paid 4.5 months from tomorrow. Now, owning my own business, it's not a big deal if I don't get a paycheck every day. It's not even a big deal if I don't get a paycheck every week. And it's not an urgent thing to get a paycheck every month. Knock on wood, I do okay. However, I've got 3 kids who are all going to be in college starting 2 weeks from now, and daddy still needs to make some money. So put a couple of those months together, and daddy still needs to bring in a paycheck. So consistent prospecting consistently with purpose every single day is about the best thing you can do. Now, if you're going to prospect today in a time where people are out of their minds crazy with worry from the COVID virus, from the financial situation, the economy, you better use some empathy and understand that people are going through the same stuff that each of you are. So you better be understanding of that more so than at any other time. You always need to work with people with empathy, but more so now than ever. Remember that they're freaking out. They're worried about, are they going to get sick? Is their family going to get sick? Is their business going to be in business 6 months, a month, 2 months from now? So make sure that you're prospecting consistently, but doing it with empathy. And I would also advise you and urge you, use a blended approach to prospecting. The telephone still works if you know how to use it well. LinkedIn, I heard somebody say they were a LinkedIn expert. I consider LinkedIn to be the salesperson's best friend. There's all kinds of social media platforms you can go on. Emails, direct mail, I think is a fantastic thing right now because most people don't use it. But the key is consistent prospecting so that you get paid consistently. The next thing is, and I forgot her name, I think it was Toby, talked about time management, crucial. If you're going to be effective as a salesperson, whether your title is salesperson or it's just something that you have to do as part of your job, you better be effective with your time. And there's a difference between being productive and being busy. It's incredibly easy to be busy all day long, but not be at all productive. It's very challenging to be productive without being busy. And when it comes to the world of selling, I think there are only a few things that make your day productive. Did you schedule a first meeting with somebody? Did you schedule a first appointment, whether it's going to be face-to-face, via Zoom, phone, or anything else? Did you set up a new first meeting so you can begin a conversation and put someone in the beginning of your pipeline? If you did that today, that was a productive day. Did you conduct a first appointment or a first meeting with somebody? That's a productive day. Did you gather new information that you can use on a sale that you're currently working on? That's productive. Did you move something forward in your pipeline? And of course, if you close business, that's about the most productive you can be in any given day. But the key is, how do you be productive? How do you be productive with your time? And Toby, it sounds like she's an expert at it, but I'll just share my best idea, which is to use what I call calendarization. Calendarization. Most salespeople, one of the most important things I do is I coach people one-on-one. And one of the very first things we talk about is, show me your calendar. I want to see what your calendar looks like. And what I'm looking for is prospecting time on your calendar? And it's almost never is. What I do see on people's calendars are the appointments they have to go on. Like I had one for 9 o'clock today to be on this call because I wanted to make sure I was here. Everything that's important goes on my calendar. But to me, everything is important. So calendarization is a technique that I teach to salespeople and sales managers and executives for being more effective with your time. What you're looking at here is a sample calendar that I created for a training program for a company that does recruiting, a headhunting firm. And you can see that each and every day is filled up almost every minute, including things like breaks and lunch, because every moment that you don't have something on your calendar is a moment that you're going to waste time figuring out, what do I do next? And typically people spend between 5 and 10 minutes just figuring out what to do next. Me, I walk in, I know exactly what I'm going to do from the time I get to my desk to the time I leave, and I'm incredibly strict about those things. So the first thing about calendarization is everything goes on your calendar, everything. If you look at my real calendar, you would see that it shows what time I'm going to wake up, what time I'm going to walk the dog, when I'm going to do yoga, when I'm going to eat my breakfast, take a shower. Now, I don't need to remember all those things, but I'm more effective with my time when everything is scheduled. It's also important to notice that I put in breaks here. Your brain and your body need a break every 90 to 120 minutes. They don't need an hour break every 90 to 120 minutes, but it's been proven scientifically that you will function more effectively when you build in little breaks into your day than when you work full out all day 100% of the time, because your body and your brain can't do that. You need to take a break occasionally. So filling in your day with things to do all day long is going to make you more productive and more effective with your time. And notice that the last thing, at 6 o'clock at night on every day, it's planning for tomorrow. You should never, ever walk in and not know what you're going to do immediately. One of the best things you can do is be productive immediately. In fact, there's a terrific video on the internet. It's of a naval commander giving an address to a graduating class, and he says, wake up and make your bed. Wake up and make your bed every day. Now, I happen to not make my bed. I live alone with my dog, so nobody's checking out whether my bed is made or not. And half the time I don't do it. But the reason he says that is not so that you make your bed. It's so that you've immediately been productive. You've done something. And then stay focused all day long. Now, the next thing that's crucial, And in every seminar I've ever given, I always have somebody that comes up to me beforehand, likes to shake my hand and tell me how excited they are because they love training. They can't wait to get some new knowledge. And if they just learn one thing, it'll be worth it. And my thing is always, if you only learn one thing from time with me, I didn't do my job properly and I shouldn't get paid. However, if people only learned one thing, besides the consistent prospecting, this would be the thing I'd want you to walk away with from today or any other time that you invest with me. And that's what I call the BNAS, which stands for Best Next Action Step. The best next action step. It's a philosophy. And I urge each of you to make it an unbreakable rule in your particular sales environment. The BNAS, the best next action step philosophy, simply says this: never, ever leave a meeting or a phone call without setting up the next meeting or phone call right then and there. And here's why you want to do that. The typical salesperson ends a meeting like this. Let's say I was trying to sell my services to Heshy. And we have a lovely meeting in his office, and at the end of it, he's going to hear something like this if I'm the typical salesperson. Heshy, you know what? You've given me a lot of great information today. Here's what I think we should do. I'd like to go back to my office, think about everything we've talked about, write up a proposal for you on how we can get your team trained and increase sales at Radio Creations. And as soon as I've got that proposal written up, I'm going to give you a call. We can set another appointment. I'll come back and show you my proposal. And that way, you'll have all the information you need to make an intelligent decision whenever you're ready. How does that sound to you, Heshy? And I promise you that if I said that, Heshy would say this: sounds good, Jeff. I promise you, because that's what people do. I've observed enough salespeople over the last 47 years to know that that's what the Heshy says every time. Sounds good, Jeff. But here's the thing. What did Heshy agree to? Heshy agreed to only one thing. He said it was okay with him if I go back to my office and do a bunch of work writing up a proposal, and that it's okay if I try to call him after that proposal is done. He didn't agree to take my call. He didn't agree to give me the meeting. He just said, yeah, you want to go back and write a proposal and give me a call? Go ahead, be my guest. But a better way to do it is like this. Heshy, you know what? You've given me a lot of great information today. And here's what I think we should do. I'd like to go back to my office, think about everything we've talked about today, and I'd like to put together an outline of ideas on how we can increase sales at Radio Creations. And I'd like to come back and show you that outline of ideas next Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Now, if Heshy says to me, Tuesday at 3 o'clock sounds good, and we both put it on our calendar, or if he says Tuesday at 3 isn't good, but Wednesday at 10 is good, and that's good on my calendar too. If we agree to another meeting where I'm going to come back and show him my proposal, what Heshy just told me is he's interested. Because busy executives like Heshy don't give me some of their time and then agree to give me more of their valuable time unless they're interested in what I've got to offer them. Now, he may not end up doing business with me, but he's at least shown me that he's interested, and I don't have the time to waste with anybody who's not interested in what I've got. And by the way, it's okay with me if somebody's not interested. In fact, I'm almost happy when they say, nope, don't want to see a proposal. Great, because that gives me time to talk to somebody else who is interested in seeing a proposal. Now, let me give you one more example. Let's say Heshy is interested, but I do it the wrong way. Heshy, you've given me a lot of great information today. I'm going to go back to my office, think about everything we talked about, put together an outline of ideas. I'll give you a call. We'll set up another meeting. I'll come back and show it to you. You'll have all the information you need to make an intelligent decision whenever you're ready. Now, remember, Heshy's interested. I go back to my office. I write up the proposal. What do? I call Heshy because I'm interested in doing business with him. Do I get Heshy? Well, it's possible, but I say pretty unlikely because Heshy's a busy person. He may be out on a sales call. He may be too busy to talk to me right there. There's a million reasons why I'm not going to get through to Heshy on the first call, but I'm interested in doing business with him. So what do? I leave a message. Heshy gets my message. And remember, in this instance, he's interested potentially in doing business with me. So he hears my voicemail and he calls me back because he wants to find out what I've got for him. Does he get me? Not if he's calling right now, because I'm talking to you guys and I disconnect my phone when I'm on a call like this because I don't want to be interrupted and I want to give you my full attention. Now, it could be when I get off this call and I plug my phone back in, Bill Gates is on there with a voicemail saying, hey, Jeff, love to talk to you about training the entire Microsoft team, but I wouldn't know that right now. So Heshy and I are probably going to trade voicemails a couple of times. Could be over a couple of days, could be over a couple of weeks before one of us actually gets the other one on the phone. And when that happens, whether Heshy calls me and I pick up or I call him and he picks up, here's what it's going to sound like. Hey, Heshy, Are you sitting down? No? Well, sit down and buckle your seatbelt, because the proposal I put together for you is going to rocket you right out of your chair. Want to get together this afternoon and talk about it? Which I would never, ever say in a million years. Even if I had nothing else to do, I would never tell Heshy I'm going to come by this afternoon and show it to you, because I want Heshy to think I'm successful. Why would he do business with me if I wasn't successful? And successful people are busy. So most likely, once one of us gets the other on the phone, it's going to be another week to 2 weeks to maybe even 3 weeks before two busy executives like Heshy and me can schedule a time to look at my proposal. However, if I set up the meeting while I'm sitting in his office or while I'm on a Zoom call with him for the following week, I've now saved 1 to 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks off of my sales cycle, which everybody would like to do. And more importantly, I'm working with somebody who I know is interested. Always use the best next action step philosophy. This is an important concept to understand, that closing is the natural outcome of the sales process done right. So I often get calls from vice presidents of sales, presidents of companies, CEOs, who say something like this: hey, Jeff, could you come teach my people how to close? Well, the answer is always yes. Of course I can teach your people how to close. But what they really need is to learn how to sell, because closing is a 5-minute conversation. I could teach you guys how to close in 5 minutes, no kidding. It's very, very simple. But what you need to do is the entire sales process right, because if you do the entire sales process right, closing should be the natural outcome. That doesn't mean that I close everybody or that I expect you to, but you're going to have a far greater closing percentage if you do every step of the sales process right. And I don't care which sales process you follow. I teach a 6-step process. Sandler teaches a 7-step process. The company I used to work for teaches a 4-step process. I keep looking for the 12-step process, which would be, hi, I'm Jeff, and I'm a salesaholic, and you would all go, hi, Jeff. But it doesn't matter which process you're following, as long as you follow a process that works. Closing is the natural outcome of when you do the sales process right. Now, here are a couple of key terms that I think are crucial always, but especially right now. First of all, motivation. I'm often introduced as a motivational speaker. And because I have a good attitude and I'm kind of energetic and I speak quickly and I'm excited, I do tend to motivate people, but that's not my purpose. My purpose is not to motivate people. In fact, I believe that nobody else can really motivate you. Unless you're a mafia hitman and you've killed people and people know that, it's very tough to get anybody to do something else for you. However, you have to look for motivation inside yourself, because that's where it comes from. The smart manager, if you manage salespeople, has good conversations with their sales staff to find out what really is driving them inside. What's the reason they come to work? And I'll bet if I asked each of you why you come to work, the majority of you would say, well, I like what I do and I need to earn a living. Except that's not why you come to work. Nobody comes to work for more green pieces of paper with pictures of dead presidents on them. We all come to work, hopefully, to help people, but also because we want what those green pieces of paper will do for us. It's never about the money, it's about what the money will do. Some people are working because they want security when they retire. Some people like me want to put their kids through college. There's a million reasons why, and you need to know that for yourself, and the smart manager certainly understands that about their people. So motivation is a word I always work on with my coaching clients. The next word is focus. Focus. I believe that multitasking, excuse me, is a myth. It's a myth. Everybody likes to say they're a great multitasker. However, it's been proven in the laboratory that your brain can only focus on one thing at any given nanosecond. It cannot focus on more than one. And when you try to split your concentration, both things suffer. So focusing, driving out distractions, working when you're working and playing when you're playing, and forgetting about multitasking. Do one thing at a time and do it well. But also the third word is velocity. Work with velocity. There's a saying in carpentry that you should always measure twice and cut once. And I think everybody understands what that means. Measure twice so that you don't waste your time making a bad cut. So what I suggest to my coaching clients is you want to work with focus and velocity. Work as fast as you possibly can without making mistakes. And for those of us who sell for a living, most of us in sales tend to believe there's plenty of time. There's always tomorrow. There's always later. There's always next week. Well, I don't know about you. I turned 65 recently, and while I think I've got plenty of years left, I don't have a lot of time. I may have a lot of time in my life, but again, I've got 3 kids, 3, all in college, starting in 2 weeks. I've got a child who's going into her second year at the University of Virginia, and my twins are going into their first year, one at the Binghamton School of Management, the other at New Paltz. That's 3 college educations I'm paying for right now. I need to work with velocity. I need to help as many people as I can on a daily basis increase their sales so that I can get paid and take care of my ex-wife, my 3 kids, the dog that's sleeping behind me, and all the other things that I have to do and all the things that I know you have to do. So be self-motivated, work with focus, and work with speed. The next thing is, and this is coming from someone who wrote a book called How to Be Your Own Coach. I co-authored a book called How to Be Your Own Coach, which is about coaching yourself to success. We talk about how to set and achieve goals. However, most people, even those who I believe can coach themselves, need somebody to hold them accountable. It's one of the things I do when I coach clients. One of the things I'm told is the best thing. Well, there's 2 things. One is my coaching clients tell me that they gain more confidence because I'm teaching them things they can actually use. But also it's I hold them accountable. And most of us left to our own devices would rather not break our word to somebody else, but might just break our word to ourselves. I know the perfect example with me is dieting. I was in pretty darn good shape before this COVID crisis hit, and then I kind of let myself go with the eating. And over the last few weeks, I've said, Monday, I'm going to get back to my diet. Monday, next Monday, and the next Monday. Well, I'm making these promises to myself. And even though I'm a guy who has a sign right over here, I can't turn my camera, but it says, my will is unshakable and my word is law. My will is unshakable and my word is law. But I'd rather break my arm than break my promise to you, but I'll let myself slide. So each of us needs somebody who will help them to hold them accountable to their promises. Is one of the things I do with all my coaching clients. They make prospecting commitments and I expect them to keep them. So if you don't have a coach in your life, that's okay. Get a partner. Maybe Ellie wants to work with Heshy, and once a week they have a call for just 20 minutes. Did you do what you say you were going to do? If so, high five. If not, beat them up, because we all need that kick in the rear end sometimes, the kick in the tuchus. Oh, look at that. That's everything. So this is my contact information. I'd be happy to take questions. I do coaching for group coaching. I also do level up coaching for sales performers who are doing well. I do sales and sales management training and outsource sales management. I also set up a Facebook group called the Sales Pro Network. It's on Facebook. I do Facebook Lives every Friday where I interview incredibly wonderful people. It turns out I know some pretty amazing people, sales experts, LinkedIn experts, marketing experts, networking experts. And it's a place where you can come as a salesperson. Obviously, it's on Facebook. It's free to join. It's a place where you can come and ask questions and get coaching, not just from me, but there are other trainers that I respect who I've invited and will all give you advice. It's a place where you can share your challenges, share success stories. So I invite each of you to join the Sales Pro Network. You've got my contact information there. If there's anything I can do for any of you, it would be my pleasure at any time. And I'm not talking about selling you my services. I'm talking about if you've got a quick question that I can help you with in terms of selling or managing salespeople, give me a call or send me an email. I'm happy to hop on a call for 5-10 minutes, give you some quick advice. Obviously, if you're calling me every day for 5 hours, we got to talk about some remuneration. But I do believe that what goes around comes around, that when you help others, the law of reciprocity takes over. And if I help you, whether you're ever able to help me or not, somehow the universe is going to pay me back. So I hope this was useful for you. I'll stop sharing my screen and I'm happy to take any questions, or if not, back to you, Heshy.
Okay. Well, I had a question for you, actually. We had discussed this on the LinkedIn Live when we ran out of time. And I'd like your thought on this. So we had talked about, you said never email or send out a proposal to somebody. Can you please describe what you had in mind when you said that? And what would be the process? You have a proposal, now you want to send it to the client. How would you send it out to the client? What's your process?
Yeah, so obviously it's going to depend on the value of the proposal to you. So if I've got a $200 proposal, and by the way, I don't have any $200 proposals. There's nothing I do for 200 bucks. But if I had a $200 proposal, I'm certainly not getting in my car and driving to Princeton, New Jersey from Long Island to deliver a $200 proposal. It's going to cost me more to get to go back and forth between time and tolls and gas and wear and tear on the car. It's just not worth it. But if you've got a proposal that's worth your time, you should deliver it in person. Here's the reason why. If I ask any of you, and I think there's 25, 30 people on the call, if I have each of you, if I handed you a proposal, what page would you turn to? I would get 25 or 30 people saying the exact same thing. I turn to the last page, Jeff.
Price.
And the reason that everybody turns to the last page is that's where the price is. except what you didn't see is the 13 pages that came before it in my proposal, because my proposals are 13 pages long. You didn't see the 13 pages, the 12 pages, where I showed you exactly what I'm going to do for you and my bio and why you should want to do business with me. Now, of course, we've had those conversations, otherwise I wouldn't be delivering a proposal at all, but you still need to see it in writing. So when you email a proposal, they're turning to the last page immediately and probably not even reading the rest. Now, if I have to deliver a proposal via email, and I'd be lying if I said I never did that, then I'm going to do this. So if, Heshy, I was going to deliver a proposal to you, I would say it like this. Heshy, obviously we're not going to be able to get together because you're in California and you don't want to get together in person, and I'm not so thrilled about flying right now. So I'm going to email you the proposal. Would that be good for you, Heshy?
Sure.
Great, so great. So I'm assuming, Heshy, that once you see my proposal, although it should be crystal clear because I'm a pretty down-to-earth, basic kind of guy, I would guess you might have some questions, and I'd like to be able to answer those questions for you. So in my professional opinion, the smart thing for us to do is let's set a time where we can get together and just briefly go over the proposal, and I'll answer any questions you have. And that way, I'll leave you with all the information you need to make an intelligent decision whenever you're ready. Would Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock work for you to quickly go over it? Would that be good for you?
You're saying that before you send the proposal?
Oh, 100%. I'm setting an appointment to go over the proposal with you. And then I'm doing one of two things. I'm either sending you the proposal at 9:55 that morning, so you don't have time to just read the last page, or I'm sending it to you without the last page. I'll send you the entire proposal now, but you're not going to get the pricing because one of us is going to be in control of this sales process. You, as the prospect, are mostly in control of it. You can agree to give me an appointment or not. You can read my proposal or not. You can do business with me or not. The only thing I can control is consistently moving it forward and when I deliver the information to you. So I am going to hold back my price until I'm ready to give it to you. And I actually don't care if you get annoyed with that. That's okay by me, because if you get annoyed because I didn't do things the way you wanted me to, I'm not the guy for you anyways, because I'm not going to do things the way you want me to. I'm the coach, I'm the trainer, I'm the outsourced sales manager. I know my business. The reason you'd be hiring me in any way, shape, or form is because I'm an expert at what I do. I've actually had—
Hey, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Quick question. Are you suggesting not to share the pricing kind of beforehand, before you get to that proposal?
No, I'm not suggesting that, as a matter of fact. I'm not going to give you specific pricing before I deliver a proposal, but I am, in the very first meeting towards the end, I'm going to say something like this. So I've got to go back to my office, think about everything we've talked about, put a pencil on paper, and of course I'll sharpen it, but just based on our initial conversation here, I think you're looking at something like 38, 40,000, something like that. Is that about what you had in mind? Because I want to get a feeling for where you are. That was you, Mark, right? For where you're at, Mark. Because if I say you're in the 38 to 40,000 range, by the way, notice I didn't say $38,000 to $48,000. I never use the word dollars when I'm talking about what you're going to invest, and I never say spend. If it's what I'm saving you, then I'm going to talk about dollars, but I don't want to put the green pieces of paper flying out of your wallet, your head. So I say it's 38, 40,000. Is that about what you had in mind? And you go, yeah, that's in the range. Great. Now I know I'm not wasting my time, the 20 minutes that it's going to take me to write a proposal. However, if you said to me, 38,000, oh God. I have a standard joke in that case. It's always too low. And people always do what you just did, go, no, too high. In which case I'm going to ask you this question. How much too high am I? So if I said 38 to 40,000, you go, I was thinking 35. Good, I'm close enough. I'm close enough that I know that when I deliver my final proposal, we're chatting about it, I can either build in $3,000 to $5,000 more value for you, or I'll take something out of the proposal to make it fit into your $35,000 budget. But if I'm talking 38 to 40 and you're saying 2,000, my question is, what color is the sun on the planet you live on? Not that I would ever really say that to a prospect. I'm not that crude, but that's what I'm thinking. And by the way, I'm using that because I did go in, I live on Long Island. I took a train into the city all the way down to the financial district because a guy said he was interested in training for his team. Got there. I said, you're looking at about 26, 27,000, something like this off the top of my head. Is that about what you had in mind? He goes, no, I was thinking 200. I said, 200,000? He goes, no, $200. I said, $200 per person? He goes, no, I've got $200 to spend on the whole thing. That's a different planet. Why did he think I was gonna, how could I possibly, I'm gonna give him a day of my time for $200? I promise you guys, it isn't 200,000 for a day, but it's sure not 200. I mean, at that, I couldn't even sell him books at that rate. So yes, I will throw out a number just to kind of feel that we're on the same page. And here's something else that you might find useful, Mark. One of the questions I certainly ask people is, regarding this project, what kind of budget did you have in mind? And people do not like to talk about their budget, and here's why. When you ask somebody their budget, they believe that when they tell you what their budget is, no matter what it is, you're gonna come back with a proposal for 1 penny less than whatever they asked for, whatever they said they had. So if they say, I've got 50,000 for the project, they think you're gonna come back with $49,999.99. Now, that very well may be true, but here's a technique that I'd like to offer you. Anytime you want somebody to do something for you, show them why it's good for them. I'm gonna repeat that. Anytime you want somebody to do something for you, in this case, tell you what their budget is, show them why it's good for them. So if I said to you, Mark, Mark, what kind of budget do you have set aside for a project like this? And you said, Jeff, just give me your best price. Mark, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I want you to know that I'm aware of why you might say that. And the reason probably is because you think that if you tell me you've got 50,000 set aside for this, I'm going to come back with a proposal for $49,999. But I want you to know that's not the reason I'm asking you. The reason I'm asking you what your budget is because I respect you and I don't want to waste your time. If you tell me you've got 50,000 for the project, I don't want to come back with a $100,000 proposal and waste your time with that. That wouldn't make sense. So by you telling me about what you have in mind, I can make sure I come back with a proposal that's going to work for you. Mark, does that make sense to you? I use that a lot. Does that make sense to you? Because I'm looking for your agreement there. And if you say, yeah, that makes sense to you, then I'm going to go, great. So approximately what is the budget so that I don't waste your time? So yeah, I do talk about price before I leave a first meeting. But a final price, because everybody believes that the final price is going to be different. Now, by the way, Mark, I know what I'm going to propose before I walk out of your office on the very first meeting. That first meeting has to be about detailed information gathering. You've got to establish rapport with people so that they start to like and trust you, and you've got to gain the right to ask questions and ask a ton of questions without it feeling like an interrogation. There's a technique I teach to do that called softeners, but you want to make sure that you gather enough information so that when you walk out, you know whether it's worth coming back or not. I've walked out of people's offices and said, I don't think I'm the person for you. And there could be a number of reasons why that's true. One, I think they're going to be a pain in the rear end. I'm not working with anybody who I think is going to be a pain in the rear end. Two, I don't think I can help them. That doesn't happen very often. Usually when somebody's calling me and they're looking to increase sales, and that's what I do for a living. But there could be a number of reasons why I don't want to work with you, and I don't want to waste your time. But more importantly, Mark, I don't want to waste my time. I am respectful of everybody's time, no kidding. I often kind of make a joke about it, but I respect everybody's time. Any prospect that's willing to meet with me, certainly any client, but guess whose time I respect more? Me. I protect my time like a mother lion protects its cubs, because the one thing you cannot get back is time. You can almost always make more money. You can almost always get your health back, but the one thing you can't get back is the last hour of my life. I'm happy to have invested this hour with you guys, but I'll never get this hour back. I won't get back the 10 years I was married. Thank goodness I did that because I've got 3 gorgeous children, but you can't get back yesterday. So protect your time and make sure you're always working with interested prospects. That's why that best next action step philosophy is so important. You've got to have some way of judging, is this prospect real or are they wasting my time? And this is important to understand. If you do your job properly when you're selling, you're getting people to like you, because nobody wants to deal with somebody they don't like. It's more important that they trust you, but they should like you too. And the problem there is, if you're good at being likable, maybe you're funny, maybe you're just chatty, whatever the reason is, but if you're likable, people don't want to say no to you. They'll say no in ways without saying the word no. Like, did you ever have a prospect that you delivered a proposal to and they never returned another call or an email? That's called going dark. It's because they didn't want to tell you they don't want to do business with you because they like you and they think your feelings are going to be hurt. I can tell you this, I come straight out and tell people, look, if you've decided that we're not going to do business, but you just don't want to tell me no because you think it'll hurt my feelings, here's what I want you to know. I like you too. You ever want to go out for a cocktail? I'm in. Want to go to a sporting event or a movie or a concert or something like that? I'm with you. You're a very likable person. But If you really have decided that we're not going to do business and you're just not telling me because you think it's going to hurt my feelings, I invite you to tell me right now because I'm still going to like you. Here's what's going to happen, by the way. I'm going to shake your hand. Well, let's assume that this was pre-COVID. I'm going to give you an elbow bump or a high five or a virtual high five or something like that. I'm going to tell you I'm glad we could invest this time together. I'm going to ask you if you know anybody who might be interested in my services. And then I'm going to leave skid marks in your driveway getting out because I don't want to waste your time.
Thank you.
So Jeff, just what you're saying is really you want to qualify the prospect by giving them some sort of ballpark figure, a range, and then the actual final number, which is going to be his decision maker. You want to do that when you're on the phone with him and you captivate his attention. You made a meeting with him to do that.
Yeah, best possible is always face-to-face. In the scheme of things in selling, the hierarchy is nothing beats a face-to-face meeting, which means second these days is Zoom, because it's almost like face-to-face. Third is a phone call. Fourth is email and text. You try to do business back and forth and negotiate via email, it's very hard. There's an exception to every rule. I actually, in fact, my longest term client, everything was done via email. So it kind of beats to a pulp what I'm trying to tell you right now, but it's truly the exception. It almost never works. You really want to deliver your number and your final proposal in person if possible, and if not, deliver your proposal minus the pricing or send it to them just before the meeting. This may, by the way, delay you getting a decision. I have no problem with somebody who I deliver a $5,000, $10,000, $200,000 proposal when I've got no problem with what they say. Wow, I do have to take some time to consider this. I can appreciate that 100%. And I've got a thing that I say about that too, just to make sure they're really going to consider it and that they have not already said no to me, which again, they are probably doing. Because think about it this way, Heshy. If you've done your job correctly, when you get to the end of the process, there's not a heck of a lot to think over. There's only two things in my opinion. One, if I'm buying services from you, Heshy, there's only two things I need to think over at the end. One, do I trust Heshy? Do I believe Heshy is going to deliver what he says he is? Well, I trust you implicitly. So you're going to get past that one with me. Two, the number that you just gave me, can I afford that? And do I think it's worth it? Well, if I don't know that on the spot, what kind of decision maker am I? Am I going to figure that out later on? Did I not know that you were going to charge me I don't know what you charge for a website, but $10,000 for a website? Maybe it's more, maybe it's less, but did I not know it was going to be a number like that? Is it totally coming out of left field? So I should have thought in advance, here's how much I'm willing to invest in a website. And Heshy seems like the guy who's going to deliver it. So there's really nothing to think about. And by the way, my friends, that's actually what I say. When somebody tells me they're going to think it over, I'll say something like this, and it kind of goes with what I just said. Heshy, I can appreciate that you might need to think it over. And by the way, typically that means one of two things. First of all, it could mean that I didn't do my job properly. It means I did not give you enough information. I did not answer every question you had, and there are still things you need to think about. So if that's the case, Heshy, here's what I suggest we do. And ask me any question you want, and I will answer it right here, right now on the spot, so that you have all the information you need to make an intelligent decision whenever you're ready. Notice I've used that phrase a lot. You'll have all the information you need to make an intelligent decision whenever you're ready. And by the way, Heshy, if you tell me you need a day to think it over, I won't call you till tomorrow. If you tell me it's next week, I won't call you till next Tuesday. If you tell me you need a year, I won't call you to 2021. I will not darken your door until you tell me you're ready. However, Heshy, in my professional experience, that's about the 3% probability. The 97% probability is you've already made up your mind that we're not going to do business, but you just don't want to tell me because you don't want to hurt my feelings. And then it's the same thing as I said before, guys. Make it easy for people to say yes, which is my favorite word, and make it just as easy for them to say no. That's how close it is for me. Yes is here, no is right here. Everything else is down there. I need to think it over. I need to talk to my partner. I need to take it to the committee. Oh, shoot me with that stuff. You should have found all that stuff out in advance. And when you deliver your final proposal, you should be speaking to everybody who needs to be there. If it's a husband and wife, get them both there. By the way, I learned this years and years ago when I sold Encyclopedia Britannica door to door. That's how old I am. I was knocking on people's doors. For those of you who are too young, there were books. There were actual books called encyclopedias. I would walk into people's homes and make sure that I was talking to the husband and the wife. You never wanted to do what was called a one-legged pitch. pitch to the husband or pitch to the wife, because what happens is you get to the end of the pitch, which is a word I don't like anymore, but you get to the end of the presentation, and if you're talking to Mrs. Jones, well, Mrs. Jones, I promise you, when she finds out that the books are $2,000, which she did not expect, she's gonna go, oh, that's way more than I expected. I've got to talk to my husband. And Mr. Jones is going to say the exact, oh, I didn't realize it was that expensive. I've got to talk to my wife. Don't do one-legged pitches. In your information gathering, you should find out what their decision-making process is and who's involved. And you should make sure everybody is there when you present your proposal so that you save yourself time. Remember, protect your time like a mother lion protects her cubs. What else? What other questions, Heshy?
That was definitely a lot of information here. I think, Jeff, I'm going to include your contact info. Maybe send me that last slide from your presentation. We'll include that in the next email. So anybody here in the group who wants to follow up can get in touch with you. They can visit your website and get more information. I found that very informative. I hope everybody else did. Jeff, really, it's been a pleasure to have you on here, and thank you for your time and your valuable time. We see now how valuable your time is, but to come on here and really help us out here. If anybody has any questions, again, we're gonna end the official program with Jeff here, but you can follow up with him after. Don't leave yet, because we're going to be going on our next discussion with the Purple Group, who's here. I see Toby's here, Itzy is here. And we're gonna discuss that for just a few minutes. But before, I just realized, and Yitzi didn't remind me, I didn't do an introduction of who I am, what I do. I think you all know that already at this point, especially after Jeff's speech. But Yitzi, why don't you go ahead and just do a quick, brief introduction?
Should turn my mic on, right? Hi everyone, Yitzi Paris here. We have Heshy Friedman, Radio Creations. We create custom websites for small to mid-sized companies. We have a focus right now on lawyers and senior nursing facilities. We're actually, if you know of companies in the Rockland area that were affected by COVID, the businesses were affected by COVID. We partnered up with a benefactor to provide subsidized websites, partially subsidized websites. My correction, partially subsidized websites for their businesses to help them get back up and running. So this applies to you or to someone else that you know. Please reach out to us privately, and we can help you with that. Heshy, take it away.
Okay. So yeah, I don't really need to do an introduction after that. Itzy works for me and does an amazing job trying to get excitement in our company. And basically, today everybody's virtualizing and realizing the important real estate online, and that's what we do. We get you professionally visible, and making sure that everybody gets a good impression of you online so they can do more business with you. Without further ado, Yitzi Holzer and Toby Goldstein, please tell us about your amazing networking event that's coming up on Thursday and the platform Evolve.
So I'm going to start. Hi, everyone. Really, really excited. So this Thursday, we have actually a full day networking event, completely virtual. Now, the cool thing about it, it's not a typical virtual event. It actually makes you feel like you are somewhat there. What do I mean by that? I'm actually going to show you, because that's what it is going to give you that little bit of that clearer picture. So this is actually what the space looks like. You see that I'm there. I can actually move around over there. And I actually see that Itzy's there as well. We can just work around the space. Now, the cool thing about it is that you get to see other people, you get to interact with other people, you get to talk to other people, and there's going to be speakers there. Now, the speakers you would be able to see are there are screens placed throughout that you'll be able to see the speakers, and there's various spaces that I can actually choose to go to have conversations. There's these specific private areas that you can have that one-on-one. So it makes you feel that you get the real live networking without the traveling involved. There actually are a lot of pluses when it comes to the virtual networking, which means you don't have to be traveling back and forth. You have this space over there. I could come and go as I please. I have a couple of different things that I can play around that I would like to go see, I'm actually going to just quickly take you over to the Purple Suites because I'm the one who's taking care of the roundtable host. So I actually just clicked that I'm going to be going over to the Purple Suites. So in a few minutes, my avatar, as we call the person, that's me, is moving over to the Purple Suite. So this is where you have a group of phenomenal hosts that would be able to talk to you and would be able to show you that you'll be able to have these conversations and in networking. Once you enter a space, no one can hear you. You know, you could close the door just like in real world. Once you are outside, it's like an open space that you can have the real conversations. So every host has their own room where they can have these great conversations going on, and you can take a look in the world and just maneuver over there. So it's like kind of that like gaming experience while you are actually networking, and you get to see some people. I see there are a couple people out there in the world. So what I can easily do is I can just search who those people are. Yitzi, I see that you're in the campus. I'm the only one over there. So I'm just going to quickly move myself back to the campus. I usually use the go-to. If anybody has any questions, how to maneuver, if anybody wants any of the help showing you around, that's my favorite part. If anybody wants any help about maneuvering around the space, then definitely feel free to ask me. That's the F7 is the dance. Every single time I see it, I start laughing all over again. But this is generally what the space that you can talk. I'm on mute, so you don't hear me on the world, but I can just turn around and have that easy conversation. You can see the agenda is straight ahead over here. This will cover the agenda. It is a full day event, but the plus side, as we just shared, is that you can just easily come and go as you please because it's virtual. And you can have those private conversations. I'm actually going to show you quickly what our exhibit hall looks like. I'm going to see, here's my exhibit hall. I'm just going to move over to the exhibit hall. And this is actually where our sponsors are. That, you know, whoever would like to sponsor would be getting a private booth. Once again, we see the blue area. The blue area shows you that you can just have that private conversation without anybody interrupting you. That means that nobody can really hear you. So you're going into the space, having that conversation. You get your group logo. You can get your website easily up over there as you're moving along. So this is generally the idea of the virtual world. The virtual world is really to bring back the networking that we miss, that face-to-face, having that fun aspect of sitting and talking to people and just really building those relationships. You know, as Jeff previously had shared, and Jeff, I smiled throughout your entire talk over there because what I found was that sales is so similar to coming to the soft skills. You got to build the relationships. You need the motivation. You need the accountability. And this is really what the networking gives to you. The networking is going to lead to the sales if you're doing it right. And this is the virtual world. We had already a couple of people coming back and saying, hey, Toby, you know what? We actually closed a couple of deals on the Purple virtual world because as you share, Jeff, when it comes to sales, the best place is really face-to-face. The next best would be Zoom. But I would say, hey, Jeff, you missed the Purple virtual world. That's the second best because you do feel a little bit when you are that face-to-face over there, which makes that tremendous difference. So that you feel that you could be talking, you have that privacy, you're sitting down, you can sit and have that open conversation. And things have changed. I recently met up with somebody from the UK. Yes, at times I do fly, not flying now, and I can't say for how much longer I won't be able to fly, but I can easily meet with them up in the Purple virtual world, have that conversation. I do feel better than Zoom because I can have my presentations coming up. We can talk, we could sit down and really feel that we are networking in person. And that's really the beauty of the world, is sitting down, networking, feeling that, hey, it's not that bad. It's actually fun and it's enjoyable.
I would be interested, possibly in a future session of even trying out doing our networking event, or at least part of it, the breakout sessions in the Purple world. But in the meantime, let's discuss now just about the event on Thursday. I see Suzanne just joined us as well. Just to tell us about the event, what the plan is, you know, and briefly, just so everybody here can, you know, we can give the information. Also, it is a paid event. It's not expensive at all for what it is, and we have a discount as well for all the members here.
Suzanne, you take it away.
Thanks so much, Heshy. I have an exciting announcement. I just glanced through all your attendees on this call, and I want to congratulate and thank Aviv Baron. He has signed up to be one of our event sponsors, our newest event sponsor. and he will be having an exhibit booth in the Purple Virtual World. We're very excited for him to be able to showcase his efforts and meet with all the attendees. So anyone that does wind up joining Change to Win on Thursday, be sure to visit our exhibit hall and say hi to Aviv and check out his booth. So thank you, Aviv.
Thank you, Suzanne.
And as
Suzanne,
far
can you
as
put the link into the chat? Just how to register, where to register.
You're going to do that, Toby?
Can you do that? Because I don't have the. Yeah, I can try to do that. We'll play around.
I was going to go over the agenda real quick. So if anyone has not had a chance to visit our website, we have really an amazing lineup of speakers. Some of them you've probably heard of. Some of them are very active on LinkedIn, but some of them you may not have heard of. And we're hoping that the event inspires everyone and helps during this very challenging time. So let me just take it from the top. At 9 o'clock, we're kicking off with Rob House. He will be singing our theme song. He wrote the lyrics for Change to Win. It's a very inspiring and fun song. And then he will be our first keynote speaker talking about love and unity. We're definitely aware of everything going on right now in present time. So he's going to sort of rally everyone around that topic.
Suzanne?
And then, yes.
Why is your camera shaking?
I'm holding my phone. I didn't have time because I was taking my girls to camp to get it set up on my laptop. I don't know how to put it down where you'll see me not at a weird angle. If I do it like that, it's like very awkward. Hold on.
Now we appreciate that you made it, Suzanne.
Is that better? Is it not
Oh, it does the
shaking now?
job. It's fine.
That's
Okay,
better.
yeah. Okay, so Rob is going to start us off, and then we have a panel to learn about leveraging voice and video to grow your business. So the Westwater, Scott and Susan Westwater started a company, and they are very focused on the power of voice, like Alexa, and how you can use voice as a medium for growing your business. And then we also on that panel have Jonathan Palmar, who happens to work for Shea Robot in marketing, and he's very into video and how that can help skyrocket your business. And then at 11, I don't know if Penny Friedman is on this call, but Penny Friedman is one of our panelists along with AJ Wilcox and I. The three of them will be talking about organic reach versus paid ads. So Penny knows Facebook and Google ads very well. AJ is very well versed on LinkedIn ads. So if anyone's ever been curious or wanting to know more about the value of the paid ads, that's what these gentlemen will be talking about. And I will be talking about the power of organic reach and really growing your business just through social media, networking, and not having to use those paid ads. At 11:30, we're going to have our trade show and direct everyone into the exhibit hall where you'll see Aviv and all of our sponsors. We will have a list of them on our website coming up soon. And then from 12 to 1 is where Toby Goldstein will shine. She has organized an amazing networking roundtable for that hour. We have incredible roundtable hosts, Heshy and Yitzi, I know are both on this call. They will be one of our roundtable hosts. And you'll have an opportunity to go into their purple suite and talk to them and chat and just get to know all of our hosts. You can switch around. It's not that you have to stay with one suite for the whole hour. You can really get to know each of our different
I'm just going to interject a minute. Most of these hosts actually do this as like small coaching calls, or they're giving you their coaching package, I would say for free at this point, instead of charging you, and they charge. We have a lot of them that do this one-on-one with people, and that's what they're running in those roundtables. So really take advantage.
Thank you, Toby. So she's done an awesome job with that. We, at 1 o'clock, we have a panel with Ronell Richards, Michelle Willis-Taylor, and Ilana Golan. They're going to be talking about strategies for starting or growing your business. The three of them are powerhouse entrepreneurs. They, like Toby mentioned with her roundtables, they all do coaching. They're just incredible, I would say very inspiring people, and we're so excited that they're going to be presenting for us. At 1:45 until 2:45, we are going to ask everyone to meet us on the soccer field, and Joy McAdams, if you haven't met her, is going to inspire us with words about the value of fitness and how important it is to take care of ourselves. And to motivate us in that regard. I'm not sure if she's actually going to have us get down and do push-ups, but if she does, I know Aviv will be ready to go. He will be probably our push-up winner because I've seen he motivates. He's going to get Itzy. He got Itzy to do push-ups, from what I understand. He's going to get Moshe, and maybe all of you will be doing push-ups with Aviv. Okay, so following that, at 2:15, Craig Klickner and Carrie Bowling will be talking about side hustles. They have definitely done an incredible job growing their business, and they will teach us how to have a side hustle for anyone who needs one or already has one and wants to grow it. At 3:15, we will have David Stanton as the moderator for a panel discussion with Iris Lodowitz and Brian Wallace. They are going to talk about how to deal with times of uncertainty like we have now, like how they managed to thrive and grow through 9/11 and the downturn in 2008. So they're going to talk also about what's happening this year with COVID. So we have that panel at 4 o'clock on the beach. We're going to have fireworks to get everyone excited for our last keynote speaker, which will be Beryl Solomon, rounding out the day, talking about the Great Recovery. So we are super psyched about our agenda. We would love to have all of you there. And as Heshy mentioned, if anyone wants a discount, he has a promo code. And just don't miss out. I know after this event, there will be tons of FOMO. Like, why didn't I sign up? It was so reasonable. There was such powerful content, amazing sponsors, and just an opportunity to really get out there and not be so isolated. It's very isolating.
We haven't had any normal like in-person events in months now. So this is going to be the closest, you know, this isn't just a Zoom networking meeting like we're doing every month. This is a whole new level of interaction on a virtual area. So I'm very excited about this personally as well. And we need some more like exciting interaction. Hopefully this will achieve some level in between, you know, getting closer to the personal level. So I'm going to send out an email with all the information. Actually, the email we sent out yesterday has that. I'll include it again on in the WhatsApp, in our WhatsApp chat, and the email. Anyone has any question, they can reach out to me or Yitzi or obviously Suzanne and Toby, or I don't know where Yitzi went, but you know, you can reach out to us and for more information. We hope you can all join at least for, if not the whole thing, for part of it, and join the roundtable.
And if anyone wants to still jump in and get an exhibit booth or be a sponsor, it's not too late. Reach out to me today or tomorrow, and we will have you set up by Thursday morning.
Right. Our next networking event is scheduled for, let's see, you posted the date. When's our next, I think
9/1.
September 1st. We'll still do it virtually unless something changes. So 9/1, we hope to see everybody at our next meeting. Again, I'll send out all information. This video is being recorded. So you'll have I'm going to send out the video of the recap. And again, we have the spreadsheet. Hi, Alex, how are you? Good to see you again. We'll chat next time, or we'll chat after. Everybody is welcome to stay here now. We're not going to do, it's very late, so we're not going to do the breakout rooms at this point. So, but anybody is welcome to stay and chat and schmooze. And we'll stop the recording now and stop the official program. Oh, and last but not least, Rafi, I just see you popped up again. Join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. Just go to my LinkedIn page, heshylinkedin.com, and you'll see Rafi Salem and I live for a discussion on reputation management, the importance of reputation management, and I hope it will be fantastic. And Rafi will be nice chatting with you on live. So join us tomorrow. That was it. Flyer was in the email. I'll send another in the recap again, and we'll post it in the WhatsApp. So looking forward to seeing everybody. And that's it. We'll officially conclude the program, but everyone is welcome to stay and chat and schmooze and enjoy each other's company and network together. And remember, everybody to follow up. That's the key. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.